Hey guys, Jason Kills 32 here, and I'm here with another board game review. Today we're going to be looking at Elder Sign. I'm going to talk about it a little bit. It's a really easy game to hit the table. It's really easy when you have new players over your house. Hit up some Elder Sign. It's got a cool, mythos to it. It deals in the Arkham Horror, Call of Cthulhu universe. It's a very easy go-to game for beginners. I say that not knocking the game, but the game is too easy, I feel. With my group, when we actually want to do some things differently with this game, we try to make it a little harder. We advance the Doom track much faster, more like player turn wise, and try and see if we can beat it in that amount of time. That makes it a little more interesting, because you're constantly going and you only have like a set amount of turns. And you can vary that up, we're talking house rules here, just as a way to kind of make it a little tougher to beat. That's probably my best solution for the game. But other than that, it's a basic dice rolling game. I'm complaining about the hardness of a dice rolling game. I realize that here, but a lot of people do that about this game. It is a dice rolling game. You never play Dungeon Roll or anything like that and be like, that game needs to be a lot harder. Well, this is the dice rolling game. So I think it gets a lot of flack for that, and I think this is very fun and enjoyable. Sadly saying though, when you win Elder Sign, you don't always feel like you accomplished anything. You have fun when you're rolling the dice and going through the little different cards on the board, but winning it can be a little bit of a letdown because you don't necessarily always feel like you've accomplished something if it's something that you can do all the time. And that's why we try to make it harder, because if it's something that's just like you're going to win it every single time, it doesn't make that win actually feel any better. You have to work for things. But other than that, all the components are really cool. Only thing I would probably like a little more is the thing when they do these card-based games. It's excellent if they just put a board so you can lay all the cards down on top of it, anything like that. Elder Sign player mat. That's a good idea, fancy like. You can sell them. Just have it right in the center where all your cards go. $16.95. Come on. But you get to choose basically from every single monster and every single hero from Arkham Horror. You get to go to the other worlds. You do all the same things that you can do in Arkham Horror basically, but on a much smaller, easier to go through scale. So there's not too much to actually say about this game. It's very straightforward. It's very narrow. I'll be doing the unboxing here in a couple minutes. This is actually a game though easy enough that I can play with my son. Now we can play a much simpler version, but when I said it's an easy game to beat, the version that I've created for him, and I still take his health away and still take the stamina away and everything, when he takes them away, he can still win. So, it's all about luck of the roll. And if you're playing with a bigger group, you have a lot greater chances for somebody to roll good and do something. So, because, typically it doesn't strike everybody in one night. It'll strike somebody one night, but not everybody at once normally. So, you always have the one player carrying the group, and they're still winning. Alright, so we're going to go, I'm going to do a quick overview of this game. There's not too much just show you the different cards. I probably won't even go over that. I'll just go over basic, you know, overview of the player card and the dice mechanic. The cards are pretty self-explanatory. They're from lore. They give you different added dice and things like that, so it's not that much to it. So we'll try to make this one quick and go ahead and get to it. Alright, thank you guys.
Alright guys, here is the Elder Sign layout. You have your normal card for your investigator. Let's see if I can get this in better. Right there. You keep your sanity and your health tokens on them, on there. It has your special ability, Amanda. She can complete any number of tasks per roll, instead of only one. So basically, when she's at a monster card, if she rolls all of this at the first time, she can play it all and win. Alright, let's back out here. Let's go through some of these components here. Beginning of the game, two things happen. Everybody picks a great one. And these don't really matter because you hardly ever get to fight them, because it's really easy to shut down gates. There are all the different investigators, real quick. You all get to pick them, they all have their nice special abilities, but it's all the same from Arkham Horror. Here we have chosen Cthulhu, and here we have the seal decks. Hold on, my battery is going to die, so give me 5 seconds. Alright, sorry about that, I had to plug in the camera. Okay, so like I said, these are your items. Here you have your unique items, you have your common items, you have your ally, and then you have your spells. You have your Mythos card here. You pull one of these a day, and then you read the effect on it, and it's typically something bad. Add 1 Doom token to the Doom track unless at least one investigator has a common item. And then at the end of when the clock goes all the way around, can't speak because I'm tired, it says, the next time the clock strikes midnight, 2 monsters appear. The only thing that happens when monsters appear is, they say use a cup, I use one of my dice bags. We just pull 2 random monsters, and basically what they do is they just go in queue forever. When one of these places appear on the map, the monster goes directly there, and then so whoever goes to that location has to do the requirements for the monster first. So basically, like, that would advance the clock, and then she would have to roll, Amanda would, and this is how that will work. If you do a basic roll without any of your special items, like she has a, you can basically play one of these and add a red dice, or you can play one of these and add a yellow dice. 20 rolls. Or like there's other motions, like we'll just go through what she has, where you can discard to fully restore an investigator's sanity if she gets really low or somebody else does. So anyway, say she plays nothing. All she needs to do is get 6 of that, and where you say, like, there's 2, 4, and 6. Now she can play that, but the bad thing is, and she can play that one right there, because she got that. She can play any number of cards. and per turn, any number of moves. But the bad thing is, she needs 2 scrolls. So she could lock this one, spin the 2 cards, and then re-roll the 3 to see if she would get the 2 scrolls, which she didn't. And then she would have to get rid of a dice, roll her last dice, and she failed. So she would have to lose. So basically, if she got the last scroll there, she would win, and you do the good side. You know, you get a clue token, which you can spend clue tokens to re-roll when you roll shit like that. Sorry. And then you can get an item, an extra card that would help you, you know, re-roll. And then you would get one of these, and you place these down under the monsters, and it keeps track to how far you have to sew the monster away. Now if you do the negative effect, it gives you different things on there, like spawning monsters, spawning the doom track, and also getting rid of, say, like here I will lose 2 sanity and 2 health. So she would need to try to heal up before the next round, before she went again. So that's the basics of how this game works. Like I said, it's very simple. Was that 4 minutes 34 seconds with the, you know, slight, I had to shut off the camera. But it's very simple. It's all dice roll. It's all luck. For the better part, most of the time, somebody's going to be lucky and you can win. I haven't really lost yet, and we've been working on some strategies to see if we can get some losses going. Sorry, I'm getting a cup of coffee. So now what I'll do, as I normally do, I'll turn the camera back around, give you my conclusion to the video, and then that'll be that. Alright, thanks.
So that was pretty much it. The game's super easy. It's like, it's just pretty fun to, you know, to play and have a, you know, it's an easy, fun game to bring out. Now I'm gonna say this with some restraint, I guess. The game is almost too easy, but it's a very good game to play with somebody that's never played a board game before. And I know I push that a lot on my channel, but I want to talk about why. It's because the more gamers that we can get into this hobby, that means the more board games that will be sold. That means that's how many more that they can reprint, and they can make sure that game's always out there, and that they can put into funding other projects, so they can have money to do the heavy game. I was going to pull Eldritch. What is that? Oh, it's over there. Okay. But, you know, I mean, that's the whole point there, is, you know, we want this hobby to survive, so in order for that, we need to bring more gamers to the table, and games like this definitely do it, because this game, to me, is one of the easiest kind of, you know, because people start looking at the cards. It's got, you know, it's got that classic feel. You know, a lot of people never experienced anything like this before, and then they get into it, and they, you know, it looks intimidating at first, and it's like, oh, it's just rolling dice and picking up cards, and they run with it. And it's funny to see how certain people can kind of like, once they start to comprehend this, then they're willing to take on things at higher levels and go from there. And, you know, that's how gamers are created, and that's what keeps us going and this hobby alive. And I think it's really important. So this is a great game for that. It's wonderful. Probably this, and I mean, in my opinion, the easiest to bring people to the table that are new players. This and definitely Waterdeep. Power Grid, it's a little heavier, but it's not too complicated that you can't sit down and explain it really quick. And Catan, always, I prefer Carcassonne to Catan. I like the point system better. And what else? It's probably the best to start with. And a Game of Thrones. No, this is not the best game to start with. You know, just any of that stuff. So, you know, this is definitely in with all those, and some of the games I mentioned are, you know, some of the highest rated and you know, most played board games of all time, and I feel that this deserves its place with those games as good entry gateway starter games that can open up people to a whole world. Because, like, you know, playing games like this with people, because sometimes you can transfer them into the hobby. Like, you know, because to me, all this stuff, the end result is role playing and like D&D, Call of Cthulhu, Legend of the Five Swords, and any of that. I like it, and you know, so to me, if you can start somebody a game over here later on, eventually down the road, you know, they'll, you know, after they came to the group for a while, they'll ask me to like DM for them one week, and then they get a completely different interactive experience that they never got before. And it's kind of funny to see the transition from people playing these games to going on and further into the hobby, you know, because there's something in there for everybody. You know, war games, there's, you know, economic games. I mean, there's, for every type of personality there's this type of game out there that you're going to enjoy and you're going to really be enthusiastic about. And that's the great thing about this hobby, because it goes to such a broad audience. Maybe more coffee. But, you know, and I think that's why I enjoy this game and why we continue to play this game, even though we continue to win this game. Make the Doom track go down a number every single time a player goes. And that speeds it up a lot more. Or just make it go down by like one time every time a player goes. Or every 2 times, you know, every 2 players go. Depending on how many people you have, you gotta kind of add it up differently to have a good ratio to where it's not too out of the park. But you know, where you can get like a good 12 turns in to see if you can defeat it. You know, because if not on every turn you're not selling at least 1 gate or 2 gates, if not 3, and you have 4 people, you're doing something really wrong in this game. Definitely. You need to be selling gates like it's no business. And, you know, because there's no reason I feel to waste going through and collecting items. You know, a lot of times when you sell certain gates, you can get items. You know, if you want items, go to a card to where you can sell a gate and collect items. You know, there's no reason. But thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, the review, and the overview. Go out there and play some games, and have a good one, guys. Oh, if you also like, comment below, subscribe, hit me up via Google Plus, my email. I'm on Board Game Geek. I post all of these videos through the threads on Board Game Geek, and I appreciate all the views I get from you guys out there that are I see out there watching the videos. Thank you, and you know, I hope you enjoy. Alright guys, later.